The dark side behind the 2022 World Cup. The 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar will be the 22nd edition of the world's largest athletic event. The tournament's already at a fever pitch, being held in the winter for the first time since 1930. But is there something we're missing? Indeed there is. There's a dark side to the 2022 FIFA World Cup that we're not aware of. If you want to discover the truth of the 2022 World Cup, stay tuned right here. Hello friends, and welcome back to our channel, Country Facts. Let's get in to know everything. The awarding of the 2022 FIFA World Cup to Qatar raised a number of questions and debates over Qatar's eligibility as a host country, as well as the fairness of the FIFA World Cup bidding process. Several media outlets, sports experts, and human rights groups were critical of Qatar's bid. They pointed out problems like the country's lack of football history, the high expected cost, the local climate, bribery in the bidding process, and Qatar's history of breaking human rights. Other parts of the world, however, don't pay as much attention to these issues. The decision to hold the World Cup in Qatar has caused a lot of disagreement. Qatar was criticized for breaking a lot of human rights, especially for how they treated migrant workers, women, and LGBT people. This led to accusations of sports washing. Others have pointed to Qatar's hot weather and lack of a strong football culture, as well as evidence that Qatar paid bribes to get the right to host the World Cup and that FIFA is corrupt in general. Several countries, clubs, and individual players have said that they will not attend the event. Former FIFA president Sepp Blatter has said twice that giving Qatar the right to host the event was a mistake. The number of people who showed up to the games has also been questioned since the reported crowd size has been bigger than the stadium's capacity, even though there were empty seats at the games. Gianni Infantino, who is the current president of FIFA, has defended the decision to hold the tournament in Qatar. Others have said that Qatar's record on human rights is much better than that of Russia and China, which didn't get as much criticism when they held big events and had similar problems. People called the problems with the World Cup in Qatar a clash of civilizations, or a clash between authoritarian Islamic regimes and secular liberal democracies. But first, let's look at the situations of workers who have been working on World Cup projects. Qatar has built 7 stadiums for the World Cup finals, as well as a new airport, metro system, roads, and about 100 new hotels. A whole city has been built around the stadium that will be used for the championship match, and it's almost complete. The government of Qatar claims that 30,000 migrant workers from other countries were brought in to construct the stadiums. The vast majority of them originate in Bangladesh, India, Nepal, or the Philippines. But do you know many workers from other countries have been killed in Qatar? The Guardian reported in February 2021 that there have been 6,500 deaths of migrant laborers from India, Pakistan, Nepal, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka in Qatar since the country won its bid to host the World Cup. The number was calculated using the statistics provided by the embassies of the various nations in Qatar. On the other hand, the government of Qatar has stated that the total is deceptive due to the fact that not all the persons who died were working on World Cup-related construction projects. It was stated that many of the individuals who had passed away had worked in Qatar for a number of years, and their deaths might have been the result of natural causes or old age. The government reported that according to its records of workplace accidents, there were 37 deaths of construction workers at World Cup stadium construction sites between 2014 and 2020, although only 3 of those deaths were considered to be work-related. On the other hand, the International Labor Organization, or ILO, believes that this figure is too low. Even though heart attacks and respiratory failure are common signs of heat stroke, which is brought on by undertaking hard labor and very high temperatures, Qatar does not record deaths from these causes as being work-related. It has developed its own estimates for World Cup-related occurrences, using data obtained from hospitals and ambulance services in Qatar that are overseen by the Qatari government. It stated that there were 50 deaths and over 500 major injuries among foreign workers in 2021 alone, with another 37,600 workers suffering injuries ranging from mild to moderate severity. Evidence has also been acquired by BBC Arabic that reveals the government of Qatar has underreported the number of deaths that have occurred among foreign laborers. Since Qatar was awarded the privilege to host the World Cup in 2010, human rights organizations have been critical of the country's treatment of workers from other countries. Amnesty International leveled allegations of corporations in Qatar employing forced labor in the year 2016. It was stated that many workers were forced to live in deplorable accommodations, that they were made to pay enormous recruitment costs, that their earnings were withheld, and that their passports were taken away from them. Since 2017, the government has implemented new policies to protect foreign workers from working in extremely hot weather, to limit the number of hours that foreign workers are required to put in, and to enhance the living conditions in workers' camps. However, in a study published in 2021, the advocacy organization Human Rights Watch stated that migrant workers were still subjected to punitive and illegal salary deductions and faced the prospect of months of unpaid compensation for lengthy hours of grueling labor. In the past, businesses in Qatar utilized a practice known as kafala, in which they not only sponsored the immigration of foreign workers to Qatar, but also forbade those individuals from quitting their jobs once they were hired. According to Amnesty International, even though the Qatari government has outlawed the practice as a result of criticism from organizations such as the ILO, firms are nevertheless putting pressure on laborers to prevent them from transferring jobs. It issued a stern warning that advancement on labor reforms must not grind to a standstill after the World Cup roadshow leaves Doha. Did the government of Qatar say anything regarding the rights of foreign workers? The Qatari government, in collaboration with the International Labor Organization, has recently implemented a number of important changes. Among these is a wage protection program that was developed to make sure that firms pay their employees on time. The majority of Qatar's foreign laborers are seeing their working circumstances improve, according to a spokeswoman for the Qatari government who talked with the BBC. According to the spokeswoman for the organization, much progress has been achieved in ensuring that the reforms are adequately enforced. As more and more enforcement mechanisms are put into place, the number of enterprises that break the rules will continue to go down. How much did it cost to build the World Cup venues? Sky News says that the total cost of all 8 World Cup stadiums is currently around $6.5 billion US. This is true even though some Qatari officials said it might have cost $10 billion to finish building all the venues. One of the cheaper projects was the Khalifa International Stadium, which didn't need to be redone until 2014. To build the infrastructure for the World Cup, hundreds of thousands of workers from places like India, Nepal, and Bangladesh were brought in. Reports say that many of these workers had to pay fees of up to $4,000 to get jobs in Qatar, where they were promised good pay and good working conditions. During the 12-year World Cup infrastructure project, workers from Qatar said they were paid less than $1 per hour for working 12-hour shifts, even when the temperature in Qatar reached 43 degrees Celsius in the summer. In preparation for the World Cup, Qatar made changes to its labor policy, such as setting a minimum wage of 1,000 riyals, which is $275 per month, because of criticism from around the world. Even though these changes are good, many people will wait until the tournament is over to figure out how much the 2022 FIFA World Cup in Qatar will cost in the end, both financially and in other ways. So, this is all about the controversial side of the World Cup 2022. If you liked today's video, we please ask you to check out more videos like this one on our channel. All you gotta do is subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit that bell icon, and you'll always get the latest updates, and you'll always be notified whenever we have a new upload for you. We appreciate you spending time with us today, and we look forward to doing it again soon. Have a great rest of your day, and thanks for watching.